Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the daily message brought to you by Unity Clear Lake Center. Our discussion is on faith. So, what is faith? The Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 states, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Hebrews chapter 11 verse 3 states, "Things that are seen were not made of things which do appear." So in other words, things that are seen are not made out of visible things, but out of the invisible. In some way, then, we understand that whatever we want is in this surrounding invisible substance. And faith is the power that can bring it out into actuality to us. Charles Fillmore once wrote that to have faith is to know that whatever we seek and hold in our minds, whatever we desire in our hearts, is already ours. Joel Goldsmith wrote, "Faith is a quality of God, not of man. But as a quality of God, it is present in all its fullness." He also wrote, "Faith is the unequivocal understanding that there is an invisible source of power behind all things." An unequivocal understanding, which means clear, unmistakable, undeniable, definite understanding that there is an invisible source of power behind all things. But how do we get to this unequivocal understanding? So I have some readings from the Saint Germain series that I'd like to share with you today on how to increase the faith that we do have. So according to Saint Germain, and once again, if this doesn't work for you, that's fine. I'm just sharing it. The first step is the stilling of all outer activity of both mind and body for 15 to 30 minutes, both first thing in the morning and last thing at night. The second step is to make certain of being undisturbed. And after becoming very still, picture and feel your body is actually enveloped in a dazzling white light. The first 5 minutes or so while holding this picture, recognize and feel intensely the connection between the outer self and what he calls your mighty God within, focusing your attention upon the heart center and visualizing it as a golden sun. The third step is the acknowledgement of, "I now joyously accept the fullness of the mighty God presence, the pure Christ within." And then he says to feel the great brilliancy of the light and intensity, and feel that in every cell of your body for at least 10 minutes longer. And the fourth and final step he gives us is to close the meditation by the command, "I am a child of the light. I love the light. I serve the light. I live in the light. I am protected, illumined, supplied, sustained by the light, and I bless the light." He says, remember always, one becomes that upon which he meditates, and since all things have come forth from the light, light is the supreme perfection and control of all things. He goes on to state, contemplation and adoration of the light, and remember, light is capital L, God force, compels illumination to take place in the mind, health, strength, and order to come to the body, and peace, harmony, and success to manifest in the affairs of every individual who will really do it and seeks to maintain it. So this is his suggestion on growing the internal faith that we have. And by doing this every day, morning and night, you begin to see differences in and about you. And with this, you also begin to develop what is called understanding faith. Not just understanding faith, but it is faith of understanding. So there's a blind faith. So if someone says to you just to pray to God for something and you'll have it, and we take it at face value that it's true, but there is also what Emily Cady calls an understanding faith, a faith of understanding. She says that blind faith is an instinctive trust in a power higher than ourselves. Understanding faith, or faith of understanding, is based on immutable principle. So what is called understanding faith is this: there are some things that are bound together by fixed, immutable laws. If we have one of them, we must have the other. Take 1 + 1 = 2. It's an eternal truth. You cannot put 1 and 1 together without 2 resulting. But unless you do put 1 and 1 together, you do not produce 2, for each is eternally dependent on the other. So the mental and spiritual world or realms are governed by laws that are just as real and just unfailing as the laws that govern the natural world. So certain conditions of mind are so connected with certain results that the two are inseparable. If we have the one, we must have the other. When we know something of these laws, we can know positively beforehand just what results will follow certain mental states, and that knowledge can then help us transform our worlds. We have been given dominion over this world. One of the absolute truths in the universe is that there is already provided a lavish abundance for every human want. In other words, the supply of every good always awaits the demand. Another truth is that the demand must be made before the supply can come forth to fill it. So if we recognize these two statements of truth, and to affirm them actually is the whole secret of faith of understanding, faith based on principle. What are usually called the promises of God are certain eternal, unchangeable truths that are true whether they are found in the Bible or in the Almanac. They are absolute statements of truth that cannot be altered. A promise, according to Webster, is something sent beforehand to indicate that something unseen is at hand. It says that it is a declaration that gives the person to whom it is made the right to expect and claim the performance of the act. So Jesus recognized the unchangeable truth of that in the unseen. The supply of every want awaits demand. When he said, "Ask and you shall receive," he was simply stating an unalterable truth. He knew that there was no need for coaxing or pleading about it, that our asking is simply our complying with an unfailing law which is bound to work. There is no escape from it. Asking and receiving are two ends of the same thing. 1 + 1 = 2. So Saint Germain put it this way: the eternal law of life is, what you think and feel, you bring into form. Where your thought is, there you are. For you are your consciousness, and what you meditate upon, you become. So what you think and feel. Think and feel, 1 + 1. Think and feel, you bring into form, 1 + 1 = 2. There's your formula. He goes on to say this, though. I tell you this, though, the need of guarding the feeling cannot be emphasized too strongly, for control of the emotion plays the most important part of anything in life. thoughts can never become things, and until they are clothed with feeling. Guard the feeling. So, thoughts can never become things until they are clothed with feelings. Thoughts and feelings combined together create what we desire in the world. Once again, 1 + 1 = 2. If we were fully to understand this, then what we get is understanding faith, or faith of understanding, instead of blind faith. So I leave you with these words today. Understanding faith then could be known as knowing faith, because we know the truth and the law of life, and you are living it. So may your living the law of life bring you all the love, happiness, joy, and abundance you truly desire. So as we move into this faith of understanding and we live the law of life, our lives will change. So much love, everyone. Have a beautiful, blessed day. God bless.